This Liberty Sports Update is brought to you by Beacon Credit Union.
It's what a 2020, man. It's been a blessing. It's had a lot of highs, a lot of firsts. Top 25, 9 wins, and TV appearances, Power 5 wins. So, man, we celebrate all of that, and so many people deserve a lot of credit for it to get us to that point. 11 straight weeks with really relatively no COVID issues. We think the bubble principle that came about through our administration and our academics team and our medical team, strength staff, nutrition, it all worked. And unfortunately, after 11 straight weeks of relatively no issues, somehow, some way, we got stung starting last Sunday, and it didn't end up the way we wanted to. Man, we were really looking forward to a top 25 game down at Coastal. I love those type of games. I love the attention it brings to our program. Our kids, I think, would flourish in that competition and have a chance to beat a top 15 team. And we prepared as hard as we could under some strange circumstances. And even late into the night last night, we're still preparing. And until we got the word this morning from our medical team that felt like we needed to pause football activity right now. So it is disappointing, but man, nothing can take away the joy of the accomplishments that our kids and staff have gotten done this year in this crazy 2020. So we celebrate that a lot more than we will focus on being disappointed about not being able to compete this Saturday. So there's lessons to be learned from it, and I just got off a team meeting with our team on Zoom and kind of went through what our theme was this week like I always do on Thursday, and there's a lot to be learned, and truthfully you usually learn more when you're walking through a fire of adversity than you do on the mountain of successes. So hopefully this will make us stronger and better, and that everyone will stay safe and healthy and get through this, and we can reconvene in the near future.
All right, thank you, Coach. We'll take questions at this time for Flames head coach Hugh Freeze using the raise hand option at the top of your screen. First one goes to Hank Kurtz from the Associated Press.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, Hank.
Sorry about this. I've been around long enough to know that the next game is the most important game you've ever played. What kind of bummer is this for you? Because you've built a program in 2 years that put yourself in this position.
Yeah.
I don't really acknowledge that. Some of the COVID stuff has kind of helped you get where you are, but what kind of bummer is this for you?
I don't know that it really matters about me, but I think you know me, and I went to bed last night and told my daughters, and I had them jacked up, and my wife, and I said, we're going to win this football game. We're going to get these tests back, and we're going to go with the ones we have, and I think it's the best plan we've ever come up with, and we're made for this moment, and it's going to be an awesome story, and we're going to go win the game. So it's disappointing. I relish these opportunities, and they jack me up. I get excited for them, and I think our kids would have been ready to play. We'd have been shorthanded some, but it would have made for a great story. So yes, disappointing.
There will be people that say that you guys bailed on this game. What do you say to that?
God. That's so far from the truth. I don't know. Do they say that about every single team? We have a top 25 opponent that we have a chance to go solidify our ranking and have another marquee win on national TV. So I've never shied away from opportunities like that. I don't know that people really say that. I think they understand what COVID is, and so I'm not really concerned about that.
Have you ever had a game with game day at your location?
I sure have. Undefeated at that.
Thanks, Hank. Let's get to Damian Sordelet from the Lynchburg News in Advance, then we'll get to Travis.
Hey, Hugh, you said the issues started popping up last Sunday. Was this the Sunday before UMass or after UMass? And can you speak to how shorthanded you guys could have been if you'd gone in there on Saturday?
Yeah, it was the Sunday after UMass, but we haven't talked about the COVID issues all year long, and we're not going to start now as far as individuals. But we've had a minimal amount throughout the year, and have been very fortunate with that. And for some reason, this Sunday it started popping up a little more than what was normal, which was concerning, but not to a point that anyone, and Ian and I talk every day about it, and Barry and I, and it was just it was disappointing. Some of the ones that were going to be out were certainly key contributors, but it doesn't. And then coaching too. We I think it's well documented. I'm not talking about names, but we only have one defensive coach for this week, and that was a very interesting challenge. So we split practices. And did offensive practice, then special teams practice, and defensive practice, so that our offensive coaches could also help coach the defense. So it's been an interesting week, and us trying to get ourselves ready to play. And really, again, felt like last night I just had a feeling, man, that the tests were going to come back good, and we were going to, go play. And then unfortunately, we get the test back last night, and it was uncomfortable enough for the doctors to say there's something going on. We need to pause.
And when you have those conversations with the doctors, how much do you want to push back against them and say let's play versus taking a step back and saying this is the best thing for this program to pause to get this under control?
Well, it's probably a good thing that they don't let me talk to the docs. That's above my pay grade. That's where our administration and the health professionals, and I didn't push back. I want to do what's. I would have if I would have some with Ian, and I know he would have shared my concerns if I thought it was unreasonable. But when you look at the sheer facts after last night's test. The health of our kids and the safety of them comes first, and there's something trending in a bad direction, and I can't, I'm not qualified to say. So I did not push back at all after last night's results.
All right, next let's get to Travis Wells from WDBJ7, and then we'll get to Jermaine.
Hey, Coach, I'm just curious, do you guys have any idea of the origin of this thing? I know your bubble's been so good all year. Yeah. We all know how contagious this thing is. Is there any way to really know that? I know your guys didn't go home for Thanksgiving because you played last Friday, but is there any way to know that?
I wish, Travis, but no, I don't. I asked our people this morning, man, any idea? And nobody can really tell you. It's everything has gone really well until this point, so it's just hard to say. I don't know if it's you don't know if someone had contact with someone that came to a game and then it spread throughout our building, or I have no clue. I don't think anyone does.
All right, next question goes to Jermaine Farrell from FXR in Roanoke, and then we'll get to Ed Lane.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
With the situations going on with your team with the COVID, is there any thoughts of maybe tweaking any of your protocols, or you feel like your protocols were still strong enough to remedy and limit that?
Yeah, I think, it's sort of like someone's life. I think you look at the body of work, and, we've gone for 15 weeks now, and 15 of them were consecutive since we started, and the docs have not had it, not one time have said, hey, y'all are on borderline of us pausing activities. Not one time for 15 weeks. All of a sudden in the 16th week of us being together here in our bubble principle, this happens. So I think you look at the body of work, and certainly we will, but definitely there's not many things I would change.
All right, next let's go to Ed Lane from the Fast Lane on CBS Sports Radio. Then we'll go to John.
Hugh, obviously there's the element of your team being disappointed that they can't play in a top 25 matchup with game day there and all that goes into what was going to take place Saturday. How do you balance that out with the desire and the effort to keep them focused on the possibility of resuming football-related activities for the hope that you guys get a bowl game? How do you juggle that?
Juggling, managing young men in a football program is always difficult. Every week there's something to juggle. So this is just another one of those things that you've got two things I've learned from walking through the fire of adversity is one, it's never as bad as it seems, and two, you're capable of so much more than you ever think. And that's what I told our kids today in our when we're talking about our theme for the week. And man, then we celebrated the accomplishments of this year, and we recognize this is a disappointment, but we have an opportunity to get hopefully get 10 wins and with a bowl berth, and I don't think it will be very hard at all. Now, I think the biggest challenge is between now and whenever we find out if we're going to a bowl game and resuming practice for that. That's the challenge, because there's a lot of free time. They're on their own. And we got to finish academics strong and not being in our bubble like we've done academics and together because everything's paused. So that is my concern is not getting them back and ready to play a bowl game. It's more of between now and then, how do we manage academics, eating properly, training, food. So that's the thing that I've got to be concerned about. I think they'll be ready for a bowl game.
Next up, let's go to John Manson from A Sea of Red, and then we'll get back to Hank.
Coach, kind of following up a little bit on Ed's question, what is your plan for the team moving forward? I mean, are they going home? Are they, sheltering in place? What's kind of the plan right now? It's
a mixture, really. No one's leaving until we have a couple more tests, or at least one more test, and kind of see if we've gotten everything and things have calmed down, and then we'll reconvene after we get those test results this weekend and go from there. Really don't know the plan until we go through this weekend with the test and see what they say.
Hank, go ahead.
Coach, how do you share with your team that the biggest game they've ever hoped to be a part of is not going to happen?
I don't know that any of them viewed it as the biggest game. I think with College Game Day being there in the top 25 matchup, you arguably are right in saying that. I didn't sense that they were very disappointed, for sure, but I think they anticipate us being in this position again. I think they seem to quickly turn their attention to, let's go get another bowl win and get to 10 wins. And now, I'll be the first to say, and I told our coaches, Hank, that I don't like not being face-to-face with my kids right now. I want them in a room right now with me, and I want to see their eyes, and and you can on this Zoom stuff, man. I can't see all 105 of them, and so I don't like that part. I'll know more when they let us resume activities, and then I can get face to face with them and really sense what they're feeling. But it was very difficult for me to sense exactly what they were feeling. I know the ones that I asked to respond were disappointed that they couldn't go represent our team and Liberty on that stage. But at the same time, know that we've accomplished a lot this year, and hopefully we'll have another opportunity very soon on a similar stage.
And there is a sense in the public that COVID positive tests are a failure on someone's part. Please address that, because obviously it's everywhere, and some of the people that have been talked about being positive on your team are not people that are, they're people that are about the right things.
Yeah. No, I don't. Obviously, I don't know what you know. I don't read all the thing about people. I don't know. I don't see it as a failure on anyone's part. Again, I look at the body of work. Now, if we were struggling with this every single week to a point where, man, we can't play a game, you're going to evaluate. But even then, I mean, I know a lot of these teams that are struggling with that, and I know the coaches, and I mean, who's the failure in it? I mean, this virus is contagious, obviously, and you're dependent upon so many people. I mean, you're not just talking about the 120 guys or 15 guys on our team. You're talking about everybody that's in this building, and everybody that they're around, and food services, and at the training table, and it's very, very difficult to manage, and we've been blessed, like I've said, and so I don't see it as anyone's failure that all of a sudden we have a run of the positive tests.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Damien, and then we got time for one more after that.
Hugh, had you been in touch with any of your buddies in the coaching profession who had gone through something similar with staff members missing, depleted roster, about how they had handled practices, how they maybe went into a game situation if they did play, to kind of have a plan of attack if the game was still on for Saturday?
Nah, just went back to my high school days, coaching both sides of the ball, and had fun doing it. And I had a couple people. Coach Marshall is here, and was able to put him on the field and elevate Ponyo, and just went to work to get a game plan in, and I don't think anybody has the answers, because nobody knows your personnel or knows your stuff. Or we work very, very hard, though. I know that on having a great game plan, and longer hours this week than any week of the year, to make sure we had a chance to compete, and felt really good about it. So, but no, I didn't reach out to anybody.
As a follow-up question, you said you elevated Ponyo to staff. Under these guidelines and rules, would you be able to elevate a grad assistant or a quality control coach to a staff for a game, so that way you did have the number available?
Yes, you can replace them under these terms for the period of time that they're can't do their job.